In this lesson, we're going to play a little trick with the switch statement. We're still going to work with letter grades like we did in the last lesson, but this time, rather than display a range based on their letter grade, we're just going to tell the student whether or not they passed or failed, so that an A, B, C, or D grade is a passing grade and an F is a failing grade. So let's get started. First, we're going to create a char variable to store the letter grade. Then we're going to prompt the user to enter their letter grade. And then we'll get it from the console and stick it in the variable. Then we'll switch on the letter grade. So switch letter grade. Here, rather than enter anything for when an A is received, we're going to continue on down to the B and just type the colon. And then the same thing for C, and then the same thing for D. What's happening is we're not putting the break in each case clause, which means rather than executing the set of statements in the case clause, it's going to jump down to the next case clause. So essentially what we're saying here is if you've made an A, B, C, or D, case A or case B or case C or case D, see out, you passed. And then break. And then we'll write case F, see out, you failed. We won't put an exclamation point there. Break, default, see out, I didn't get that grade. Or something like that. Put an indel right here. Okay? So here's what's going to happen. If the letter grade is an A, it's going to just drop down to the B, and then the C, and then to the D, and then it's going to write out, you passed, and then break, and then it exits out of the switch statement altogether. We left out the closing brace there, so let's get that in real quick. If it's a B, it'll go down from here to here to here, and then break after it writes out, you passed. Same thing for C, and same thing for D. If it's not A, B, C, or D, then it'll jump down to see if it's F. If it's F, then it will write out you failed, and then break and end. If it's not A, B, C, D, or F, then it's going to match the default, and it's write out I didn't get that grade, and then an indel. So let's build and run the program and see what happens. So we'll try an A, you passed, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. B, you passed, which is exactly right. Run it again for C, still good. Do it again for a D, and then we'll do it one more time for an F. You failed, so you see what happened. All the other case A, B, C's, or D's were false, and then it matched on F. And then finally, we'll run it with bad input. We'll enter an E. I didn't get that grade, which means it was not any of the others, so it hit the default. Here you can essentially use OR logic to test between one of several values and then perform one thing, one set of statements, if any of those case clauses are true. That's why the break is so necessary from our first example, because we only wanted to print out the range of the different letter grades, and we didn't want it to drop through or fall through to the next case clause. So this is just a trick, but it's not really a trick. It's the way the switch statement was set up to allow situations like this to be programmed naturally. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how you can use a switch statement in a function.